Hello, my name is DJ Lim, and I'll be presenting on one of the elicitation techniques called group work. So first of all, we should all know what exactly group work is, what it does, and all that good stuff. What is group work? According to Cornell University software individual collaborator Christina L. Tenerowitz, it's a means to elicit ideas and attitudes about a specific product, service, or opportunity in an interactive group environment. Even though it may be talking about a specific product, unlike interview technique, this will be more of an open discussion. A group usually consists of those that are providing the requirements and those that are trying to understand/meet the requirements. The purpose of this technique is generally to discuss and comment on a topic, but in this specific case, it would be more about getting the exact needs/requirements for the product engineers will be producing for the stakeholders. Let's dig into pros and cons of this technique. Pros are, it's a qualitative technique, knowing that the session results are analyzed and reported as themes and perspectives, rather than just numerical findings. When things are discussed in a group setting, it leads participants to reevaluate their own perspectives in the light of others' experiences. It's also highly effective because it involves and commits stakeholders directly and promote their cooperation. Especially in this setting, each and every aspect of requirements is discussed and proper suggestions are given using group work. The stakeholders provide the direct remarks about the software requirements, and lastly, group work provides the remarkable. Cons are, it's difficult to organize these meetings because there could be different stakeholders with various tasks and roles. They may be stakeholders, but primarily they have other jobs to do as well. It also requires way more effort than other techniques such as time, meeting organization, ideas, etc. Also, if these meetings drag on because the requirements of stakeholders are not settled or keep changing it, it could be very time-consuming. You could spend weeks just trying to decide what the requirements are. So here are my recommendations. You should definitely use this technique to discuss requirements with their stakeholders directly, whether being in a physical room or remotely. This is also a good technique when you want to understand completely what the requirements are from stakeholders. But you shouldn't use this technique when you're discussing a topic that makes your stakeholders feel uncomfortable or not confident in speaking out loud. A good example would be something like highly political situations. I was able to gather some data by using this technique for our project, A Bank of Dad. I was able to call all my four brothers. Thankfully, they all have kids that they could start giving chores. I was acting as a mediator for this meeting, with them being stakeholders, and I had to make sure that the conversation wasn't going off the road. From this discussion, I was able to learn that for this app, dads don't really want to start giving money to kids until they are older. This idea was brought up, and everyone seemed to agree because until they were older and start driving, they won't really need money. Instead, they wanted to compromise to something that could be more meaningful. Objects, things like toys, or letting them play Xbox for an hour. They wanted their kids to learn that money isn't the only thing that kids should value. For features, they mentioned reward system based on points, which means kids are able to gain various amount of points depending on what type of chores they do. Rating chore difficulty, since there could be more difficult and time-consuming chores that could earn them more points. Making cool sound when earning points, knowing that the targeted audience isn't just dads, but also kids with various groups and age. Camera ability when they complete chores, not only to make sure that they are not cheating their way to do chores, but also somehow making chores fun and more rewarding/meaningful to them. There were more questionable things mentioned, such as clocking in and out to see how long it takes to do chores for each kid. Weekly chores stats report for each kid to see how many chores each kid has done and how long it took them, etc. They all agreed that it should be mobile/tablet compatible. In conclusion, use the advantages of this technique by holding a direct meeting with their stakeholders, and you will immediately start seeing benefits. And who knows, if you give them some time to think before your meeting, it could be time saving as well. Thanks for watching my presentation.